What's going on, family? I am Sir Ashley, and thank you for rocking with me tonight. Tonight, I want to touch on a couple things. Today was a pretty big day. We had the CPI numbers come out, and we also had the amount of mortgage applications for the past week come out this morning as well. And you're going to hear a lot of headlines about what's taking place with inflation and everything. And I want to put or try to put things in perspective and how you can navigate this crazy time, both as just a person, right? As an individual, uh, trying to survive in this inflationary environment, and then also as a home buyer and a home seller. So I want to touch on those things right now. But before we get into it, I have to, before we start talking about CPI and what that means, I want to make sure everybody's on the same page as far as what CPI is. If you can, please do me a favor, hit that like button, share this video, and it's late night right now. I'm having a drink. Tell me what you're drinking on. Leave a comment if you're drinking on anything. I appreciate you being here. I know that I'm typically not on this late. It's almost my bedtime, actually. I'm normally in bed around 10:30. But today was hectic. I wanted to get on early this morning. That did not happen. So let's touch on what CPI is. Give me 1 second. So CPI is the Consumer Price Index. Now that is the measure of the average change of goods paid by you, the customer, on the urban market, your rent cost, your food cost, fuel, how much that is going up or coming down every single month. Now we get this reading every single month, and it is a good barometer as far as how people feel regarding the economy. Right now it came in at 9.1. It came in at 9.1, and that is extremely high. It's over expectations. Expectation was around an 8.8, 8.7. We surpassed that, obviously. And the Fed's job is two things. They have two mandates. One, maximum employment, and two, price stability. Now, with inflation, price is going up, so it's not being stable. So that higher inflation reading that we got today means that the Federal Reserve has to be more aggressive, meaning they have to increase the interest rate for the Fed funds rate. Now that doesn't necessarily correlate with the mortgage interest rates, but we'll get into that a little later. Fed funds rates is just basically what banks charge each other to lend money. So that's going to cost more, and in turn, they pass that on to us, the consumer. We already have maximum employment. Employment is at a 3.6 or something like that. That is crazy low. What we do not have is price stability. Granted, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world. You got the Russia invasion of Ukraine, Putin's war. You have, I still can't believe we're still going through lockdowns in China. You have backlogs as far as supply chains. Hello, everyone. Hi, Andrea. Hi, Lamar. All right, Stoli and orange juice. Got a little basil, Hayden basil right now. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for rocking with me. Let's go on. So I told you I wanted to touch on a few things, two things that came out. Mortgage rate application numbers and the consumer price index for June. Now, all this hysteria, you have to remember they're looking at June pricing. We're in July now. And for the last week or so, gas prices have come down. Lumber has been coming down. So you have some goods that have been reducing, but this is looking back at last month. And last month reading, crazy high, 9.1, the highest it's been since I've been alive in the past 41 years. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comment section. Now, one thing that got overlooked today was the mortgage application numbers. Mortgage applications for last week was down 1.7%, which is not a huge difference, but it's down 18% from last year at this time. Now, that is pretty significant. Now, you all know why mortgage applications are down. Interest rates damn near doubled actually they have doubled since the beginning of the year. You have that, and then with the rise in cost of everything, less people feel confident in buying a home. And we'll touch on how buyers and sellers need to act in this environment. As I told you, the highest CPI since 1981, 41 years. Now, a lot of people were hoping that the Federal Reserve would pivot, that the Jerome Powell would not come back with these huge rate increases. The Kathy Woods of the world, other people on Wall Street. After this number, Jerome Powell pretty much has his hands tied. He can't really do much but increase rates. So the real debate is, how much are they going to increase those rates? Are they going to do 50 basis points, 75 basis points, 100 basis points, a whole percentage point, or even more? I personally think that we need at least 100 basis points or more to try to curb this inflation. Now, yes, like I said, gas prices, oil prices have decreased in the past week or so, but everything else has been up. Food is up. And certain things that are up just is not going to come down anytime soon. Wages are up. They're not coming back down. And rents are up. Those aren't coming back down anytime soon. So there's only so much you can do to combat this, even though fuel is coming down. And what you can do is dramatically increase the rates so you can stop people from spending. So this is what I really want to touch on. What this means for you, the person, and you, the seller, and you, the buyer. Now, on this channel, I want to touch more on personal finance and how to grow your money, gain wealth through real estate and otherwise. And I'm going to have people on the channel to talk about that. But this is the time in a recessionary environment where a lot of opportunities are provided you. You just have to know where to look, and you have to be prepared. A lot of people get wealthy during these times. So that's what I want you to be on the lookout and the horizon for. Now, what should you do in this high inflationary period? As an individual, I say you should reduce spending. All unnecessary spending, just cut it out. Save money where you can. Now, for some people, that means not going out to eat every night. For other people, that means getting rid of stupid debt, your credit card debt and everything like that. Just pay that off. Pay it off, because those interest rates, as these Fed fund rates go up, it's only going to cost you so much more money. So get rid of stupid debt, reduce your spending, cut cost. And I'm looking at my notes right now. Another big thing that a lot of people may not want to hear is get a second job, get a side gig, something that you're passionate about, that you can make some money doing. Do that. Or if it means driving for Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, wherever it may be, however you can obtain additional funds, I say do so during this trying times. Now, while things may be fine right now, in the next, I would say 18 to 24 months, it's going to get very trying for a lot of people. Inflation it's a regressive tax. Here in the United States, we have a progressive tax system. The more you make, the more you have to pay in taxes. But inflation is just the opposite. It's a regressive tax. It impacts those that make the least, more than it does the wealthy. Because you still have to pay that it's $3.99 right now, gallon of gas. But just last week you had to pay that $5 in gas, whereas if you weren't earning that much, it impacts you a lot more than it does somebody wealthy. So we have to get inflation down because it's only taxing the least among us the most. And I'm telling everyone to get a second gig. And personally, I say get a second gig and doing something you enjoy doing that you can teach others how to do, whether it's playing the piano, playing the guitar, something like that. That way it's not really work. You enjoy it and you get money doing it. I like gadgets. I like toys, these cameras and all that stuff. And I like sharing knowledge and information. So this doesn't really feel like a job for me. What's going on, Brittany? How you doing? Danny, hey, what's going on? So that's a main thing I want you to do. The next thing I want you to do as a person, an individual, is to become indispensable at work. You will see as we head into a recession, which I don't think we're in one just yet. I know it feels like it. I don't think we're in one just yet. I think you need 2 negative quarters of GDP. I think they're going to revise the first quarter up somehow. So I don't think we'll really head into a recession until later this year or first quarter next year. I could be wrong. We will see. But as a recession is upon us, and as we go deeper into a recession, there will be layoffs. And how do you avoid being laid off? You become indispensable at work. That means go the extra mile. That means being seen at work. I know a lot of people are working remotely, but do whatever is necessary so what you're doing is being noticed and being seen. So you're proving yourself valuable. And if it means also being pleasant. It's one of those simple things to where you could be doing the same exact thing, but doing it with a smile on your face or being pleasant to your coworkers just makes it that more welcoming. You want to reduce unnecessary spending, become indispensable at work. And for yourself, the last thing I say tonight is learn a new skill. I know we get off work, we're tired, we want to sit down, watch TV and just be numb. But learn a new skill and try to find how you can implement that skill moving forward and make it income producing, obviously. So you want to diversify your skill set because you never know what's going to happen with your primary job, your primary gig. So those are the 3 things I want you to do as a person as we head into this, it's already an inflationary environment, but as we head into this recession, what you can do to protect yourself moving forward. Now I want you to, let me make this big. What can you do as a seller, as a property seller, as we head into this environment? We just got this crazy report regarding CPI, inflation being up. We see that tons of inventory is hitting the market day in, day out. I think I put out a video yesterday where just last month, in the month of June, the Charlotte region got 1,000 more new listings. Now that's taking place throughout the country. Now, while we're still historically still low in inventory, you sellers will have more competition. So you as a seller have to decide two things. One, if you really want to sell, what are you doing to make your property more appeasing and more appealing? It's not, I told sellers earlier this year, if you go back and watch some videos, January, February was the time to sell before everybody else hit the market. Now, you're competing with two other houses down the street. So you have to decide, do you need to sell or do you want to sell? And how bad do you want to sell? If you need to sell, you can sell your property and still net a nice sum of money. But a lot of properties I see hitting the market right now are sellers that have FOMO, fear that they missed the peak of the buying season, which they did. But they're coming to the market with this crazy, ridiculous, overpriced home. And that's not going to get it done. That's why you see so many price reductions in the market right now. So you have to decide, do you need to sell or do you want to sell? And if you need to sell, be realistic. Don't come to the market with some crazy number thinking that this is last year or earlier this year. It's not. You missed that boat. And also as a seller, you have to realize your competition isn't your neighbor. Your competition right now, at least for the next 3 to 4 months, is going to be home builders. That's going to be your main competition. Because while you can reduce your price 5, 10, 15, in North Carolina, average equity for a home this year has been $64,000. So yeah, you can reduce your property or your asking price significantly, but you're not going to be able to reduce it just quite as much as builders. Builders can offer things that you can't offer. They can offer to lock in the buyer's rate at a ridiculously low rate, whereas the going rate right now is like 5.5%. I've seen advertisements this week where builders are guaranteeing locking in sellers or buyers' interest rate at 4%. And they're paying closing costs. So that's what you're going against as a seller, and that's what you need to be aware of. So while you want to play around and have this crazy asking price, again, you have to just decide, do you want to sell or do you need to sell? And know that builders is your main competition. Now to you buyers out there. Buyers, I've been telling anybody that would ask me, I was actually talking to my neighbor, the daughter of my neighbor, and she was in the market to buy, and I told her, wait until August. Wait until August. One, historically, that's when prices start to soften anyway. August, September, October. And here we are, we're in July. Not only are you buyers being able to see more inventory hit the market, you're also going to see prices soften. Now, what do I mean by prices softening? You'll see the price reductions. Now, does that mean that the market is crashing? Excuse me, I went over that in a video yesterday. No, that doesn't mean the market is crashing. That's because there was so much equity built up in the past year that they can reduce the price significantly and you'll still be paying more this year than you were last year. And there's a higher interest rate right now, so you're doubly paying more. But if you're in the market and need to buy right now, wait it out a little longer. And when you go in to make an offer, be strategic. Play poker. Do not go into a home, especially a resale home, and even if you love the property, do not say you love the property, because trust me, every seller that I work with has some kind of recording, whether it's video or audio, in the home so they can hear how excited or animated you are as you go through the property. So they know if you're really uninterested, or if you're just playing, coy. Go look at properties. Don't really talk while you go in through the property. Save all your comments till you get into the car. Don't even talk when you get outside the home, because those Ring doorbells and everything like that, they hear. Trust me, I get the videos sent to me from clients. They hear it. And they know how to position themselves when you come to them with an offer. Play poker. Be patient. Do not rush into a deal, because as more inventory hits the market, you will be able to find out which sellers need to sell and which sellers want to sell. And you, buyers, need to find those that need to sell, because they're going to be willing to give a little bit more. Those people that want to sell, they're like, well, if I get this price, hell yeah, I'll sell. You need those that are needing to sell. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to go through foreclosure or anything like that, because they have equity, but they may be relocating somewhere. They may have had a death. You don't know what people's circumstances are that may cause them to need to sell. So buyers, that's the ones you want to search for. When you go look at properties, do not fall in love with one. I say have 3 to 5 that are very good potential properties for you, and bid accordingly. Is there any questions as far as what you're seeing in the market right now, or how you should act moving forward? Let me see if I'm using a new platform. Let me see if I can add this to the broadcast. Here we go. Sounding like I might need to change my moving plans or push it out a year or more. I don't think so. So there's certain parts in the country, and I know where you're looking. I know exactly where you're looking. You're looking in the Triad area. Triad area of North Carolina, the Greensboro, for those of you who are unaware, the Greensboro, Winston-Salem, High Point area. There's certain parts of the country that, because of the price, they're going to be in high demand regardless. The homes in that part of the country are very well priced to where they're going to be insulated from everything that's taking place. Because, not saying everybody can afford it, but a large majority of people can afford prices in that location, and that location is bringing in a ton of jobs. So I can send you a couple articles, but I believe there's going to be at least 2,000 jobs in the next year and a half coming to the Triad area from different manufacturers and companies. So with those jobs are going to become an influx of people. So you have to look at, I say it all the time, and I don't want to sound like a broken record, real estate is hyper-local. You have to look at the dynamics at play where you're looking to buy, because you may hear about this doom and gloom nationally speaking, but where you're looking, they may not be experiencing the same thing. So I can send you some articles as far as what's happening in the area. But no, I think you'll be solid, because those prices where they're at right now, you're still in the $300,000 range there. I know those homes, because some of the same builders that build in Greensboro build in the Charlotte area, and literally the same home is $100,000 to $150,000 less. The same exact home, same amount of wood, same paint, same fixtures, is $100,000 to $150,000 less in the Greensboro area. And I've had clients that start off in Charlotte and end up in the Greensboro area or Triad area, because it is just so affordable. Let me see. Oh no, so I am not trying to, some people are going to try to scare sellers into selling. Right now, I'm the exact opposite. Sellers, if you do not need to sell, don't. Because what is the alternative? Now, if you need the money, you need something, by all means, do what you need to do. But you see a lot of sellers just selling because they think they want to take advantage of the market. But what is the alternative? The alternative is renting. But if you're a seller, more probability is that you have a 2%, 3%, or 4% in front of your interest rate. 2, 3, or 4 in front of your interest rate. That is, especially the twos and threes, that's an asset. And when you sell to go rent, you're giving that asset up. So I tell people, sellers, stay put. If you don't have to move, stay put. There's no real incentive to buy. I mean, to move or to sell. I've actually had a couple older people that are retiring and wanted to downsize, but once they looked at everything, they're like, it's not, well, yes, I want a smaller home. I want my owner's suite on the first floor as opposed to the second floor where it is presently. I don't want to clean up all this space. It's just me and my husband now. Now, while that is what they would like to do, financially, it just doesn't make sense for them to sell because, one, they'll be paying more in interest. They'll have the same, if not more, they'll be paying the same, if not more, for lesser of a home. So you really have to look at your financial situation. But most people, I say, if you don't need to sell, don't do it. Stay put. Looking for land in South Carolina. Yes, land in South Carolina is abundant. You just have to make sure you have to specify what you want. Do you want developed land? Do you want raw land? What is your end goal for it? I know I'm thinking your end goal is to like have a homestead and everything, but there's a lot of work that goes into that if you're not prepared and haven't done your research and due diligence regarding it. Brittany, I am an insurance agent that specializes in home insurance in Virginia. Any advice on how to establish relationships with realtors and brokers and loan officers? Um, Biggest thing I say is really, well, one, you only need one to be your sounding board, and you do an excellent job with them, and they will be your biggest advocate around the community. I'm trying to think how do people reach out to me and get my attention? They Some of them bombard me to death. I'm not even gonna lie. Until I answer, until I reach out. This one insurance person literally sends me something every week, to where it's almost like I feel guilty now, so I have to use him, right? Or at least send him a couple referrals because he's so. I respect the hustle, I respect the grind, and being in the service industry, we respect others that have that same grind and that hustle. So just be diligent and don't give up as far as reaching out to them, whether it be through Instagram, through Facebook, through email. Just show how you can be of service to them and be a value add. Because a lot of people don't know what they don't know. They're used to one relationship with whoever they're used to dealing with and don't know what others can provide because they're like, oh, this is fine. Yeah, yeah, no, that is true. A lot of hardcore investors are trying to scare sellers. And full disclosure, I've kind of put my investment side, well, for the past 2 years, I've put the investment side of my business on the back burner because it just hasn't been that time. I would have felt awful buying properties when I know that they can just list it and get multiple offers, right? Um, but for those of you, for investors, your time is coming. You're going to see opportunities left and right because you're going to be able to reach out to those people that need to sell, and you can be that solution for them. Steve, you need help in the next 2 months? I have a comms problem. Yeah, shoot me an email, Steve. Shoot me an email. My email is sir@sirashley. Let me spell my name right, .com. I just put my email in the chat. If you need me, yeah, just reach out. I hear you. Yeah, no, most definitely. You have to find something that fits your need, that makes you want to move and act. I agree with you. Well, that's what I wanted to go over because I know there's going to be a lot of fear going on, a lot of trepidation regarding moving forward in this market. And I just wanted to at least provide some guidance in what you can do personally, how to prepare and insulate yourself from this craziness we're going to be experiencing for the next, I would say, 18 to 24 months. Now, with that said, I don't think home prices are going to crash, but it's still going to be a lot of economic uncertainty. And when I say crash, I mean over 20% decline. Hell, in the Charlotte area, prices have appreciated 20% in the past year. So it really should be more than 20% or probably 30%, because if it just loses 20%, we're back at 2021 prices. But I don't think we're going to experience a 20% crash or more in prices. Now, will there be a slowdown as far as transactions? Yes, we're seeing that right now. But part of that has to do with the seasonality of real estate. During this time of year, sales typically start to dip anyway, because those people that needed to buy have already done so. And they're getting their kids situated and ready for school, getting to meet the neighbors and making sure that their kids know people in the community, in the neighborhood, or know kids in the community, in the neighborhood that they're going to go to school with. So typically you already see home sales start to go down as we go into late July, August, September, and then the holidays. Only people that move during the holidays are people that need to move. We have some advice for you, Brittany, from Dadon. I agree with that. Have a script, know your value statement, fine tune it. And I mean, you're going to come across people that, while we're all in the service industry, they're not going to be pleasant. Don't let that deter you. Just move on to the next one. Just like, okay, let's go to the next one. And reach out. Yeah, 7 times is the old trick. Usually 7th time you reach out to someone. I'm not going to lie. It probably might take more for me. But be persistent. Don't give up. Last question before I log out of here. I need to eat some food. Is Rose, what is your advice on seeking out sellers who need to sell? You really won't know until you put offers out there, ones that need to sell. You'll see, well, there's 2 things you can do. One, it might cost you some money. As an investor, I use various services to find out pre-foreclosures, people in default and everything. One of them, and I can put a link, I'll put a link in the description of this video. One of them is foreclosure.com, and the other one is RealtyTrack. They're similar services where they track people that are in default. And if you cross-reference homes that are in default, meaning they're at least 90 to 120 days delinquent in their mortgage payment, and you see that they end up having their homes on the market for sale as well, that's a red flag, knowing that that homeowner needs to sell. So you can cross-reference things to find out. Again, most home buyers won't go that extra step, but as an investor, it's our job to go that extra step to know what's happening to get a competitive edge. If you want to do that, I say take that extra step. I think I put it in the description with my link for foreclosures.com. It's like $20 a month, and you don't need it, more than a couple months, but you can find out which homes are in pre-foreclosure and reach out to those people. I hope that was helpful, Rose. Any predictions on interest rates going into the fall? I'm hesitant because I really don't know. I mean, nobody knows for sure, but until we get a hold of this inflation, interest rates are going to fluctuate. Because one would think interest rates would have gone crazy today with the news of what happened with the CPI. That wasn't the case. Interest rates barely moved. So I was on a live stream with someone and with Jeb Smith out of California, and he was like, he thinks that everything's already baked in to the interest rate. And what happened today, he seems to be right. So I'm unsure, because I would have thought with the news today, interest rates would have moved significantly, but we ended up just about ended the day right where we began the day with interest rates. So moving forward, it really depends on what happens with inflation and if we're able to get that under control. Well, I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. It is almost my bedtime. I know I'm a little embarrassed to admit that, but it is what it is. I hope you enjoy your evening. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. I will be in the comment section tomorrow, and I'll be dropping the link to the foreclosures.com in the description. And any way I can provide service or assistance to you all regarding personal finance or real estate or even learning about the Carolinas, please reach out. Don't hesitate. I'm Sir Ashley. I'll talk to you later.